Hi, Jill here. Take two. Well, that didn't work out too well. I lost the signal. So, anyways, day 29, 30-day content posting challenge. Can't believe it's 29 days. Want to invite you all to come to an event on May 10th at 4 p.m. where I talk about these X39 patches that I'm always talking about. I'm going to share a little bit more about what's going on, what I'm seeing in my son after he's been using these patches for consistently for well over a month in a bit. But I do want to mention something that I forgot to mention as we marched into May. May is Global Tuberous Sclerosis Complex Awareness Month, and I thought I'd do a little bit on that because I have 3 children that are affected by tuberous sclerosis complex. It is a condition that causes benign tumors to grow in different organs of the body, which it can wreak havoc in all kinds of unique and extreme ways. And in my experience, it forces you to really rely, or possibly rely, on many different systems of care in our society to survive, to have hope that your children and you have any kind of quality of life. It's a very challenging condition. In some people, it's very mild and they don't know they have it. And in others, it's significantly life-altering. And I'm reading all your posts and I'm reading about your kids. I've been reading about your kids and the challenges that everybody faces with this condition for years. I'm, my oldest with TSC is 26. And I can tell you it's been a journey. It's an excruciating ongoing journey that I have come to understand is a blessing. But that does not make it easy. And I think when I'm reading the posts and everybody, a lot of people are asking for donations for Tuberous Sclerosis Alliance or for some cause related to tuberous sclerosis, I really want to be intentional about that because as a parent for, like I said, 26 years, having been having conversations with people about this condition and the side aspects that come up with trauma integrated into the caregiver and the lived experience of those affected, and all the pharmaceuticals that were prescribed and the way our medical system manages a condition like this, which is really not necessarily integrating the whole person, all the options that are available to I want to say heal and to find quality of life, kind of more mind, body, spirit integrated. And I'm not saying that our medical system is that we should not support the Tuberous Sclerosis Alliance or the people that are working in the medical system to find a cure. What I want to mention is that finding a cure is, I think, a carrot and on the fishing pole that we're looking for, and absolutely it should be a priority, but I also believe that it can be misused to lead us along into ongoing research to develop more and more pharmaceuticals to treat this condition, when I think we also need to be considering broader options in the alternative health field. Many of you know about my interest in cannabinoid medicine and how we have Epidiolex, which can be controversial, but we do have a CBD pharma medication. And just all hands on deck when you have this condition or you are a caregiver, parent, or you're affected by this, because it can be mind-boggling how often your back's up against the wall and you're forced to make a better choice or a bad choice over a worse choice because there's not too many options available. And it's hard on the soul. It's hard on the soul, especially when, you're continually watching your children suffer in many ways. And I'm not saying that there's not hope and they're not doing okay and there's not a lot of forward progress that I've seen in my lifetime, but I also want to mention that I also get emails every day from drug companies that want to basically capitalize on conditions like this and develop more and more pharmaceuticals. And I think in some ways, everybody involved with it and that understands the complexities of these chronic illnesses wants to help. But we all have our own, see it from such different dimensions. and have, different levels of lived experience in managing these conditions. So those that are developing the treatments might see it from a merely microscopic, under a microscope scientific perspective, when the family, or the parent, the caregiver, the person affected experiences all the energetics that are related to the everyday experience of having it, along with the influx of pharmaceuticals and our medical system's organ by organ treatment of this. We got to get it together. We got to figure out what we're asking for when we want to raise awareness. Are we raising awareness so we are funding more trials of drugs? And are those drugs purposeful? Are they being compared with each other? Of the 10 drugs that kids are taking, are there studies on the long-term effect of the 10 drugs working together over the course of their lifetime? I don't think so. And I think that's where I think we all fall down, because we're so, and I'm not saying I don't either, we are so narrow-minded in many ways that we're only looking at little small portions of what is the whole person, the whole mind, body, spirit, that we are here to, to have some quality of life. And it can be really challenging when you are set up kind of to be dependent on external ways of managing something that so complex. So I'm not saying don't support these organizations or whatnot, but just be mindful. Like, ask yourself, what am I giving my money to? Where is this money going? How is this drug going to improve the quality of life for myself, for my children, which would actually also improve it for the parent caregiver population? How is it going to improve it for all the other people that are affected differently? If we're funding this pharma, how is it working together with the whole person, with everything going on in their lives, and what other options are available, and why is one option made to be more right or more safe than other options? If there's, I understand people are very hesitant to take risks with their children or personally when they're living with this condition, because it can be terrifying when suddenly you're watching your child out of the blue have massive seizures. You will throw anything at it to stop. So I'm just raising this little talk about awareness. Thanks guys for watching. And intention, and being intentional when we are contributing to fundraisers, when we are saying find a cure, and when we do find a cure, we still have all the trauma, all the life experience that got us to where we were that moment we found the cure, and it's not going to suddenly fix everything. I think doing our inner work, I'm back. I'm going to cut out, so that must be a sign I need to stop talking. So anyways, a little thing about seeking other options. I'm always doing that, and following, the medications as well. So it's not just one thing. There's many different ways of, I've got, and then the social emotional piece. But anyway, so I'm using these patches, these X30 patches that I'm talking about, and my son is using them, and I am noticing like more and more of his stress tolerance increasing. So he's like able to handle things that used to derail him and cause ripple effects as we tried to accommodate. Anyways, I keep cutting out. Anyways, so today I was having him get up. He wasn't getting out of bed. Sometimes, we don't want to get out of bed. And he's been home for about 4 months after getting kicked out of his school program. He's going to start a new program tomorrow, and I'm all anxious because he's got to get up. He's got to start getting into the routine. He's got to start getting ready. And so anyways, I go and, yell at his door and whatnot, and he's grumbly and whatever and giving me crap, and I go back and leave him be. And anyways, the long and the short of it is he comes out and he says a bunch of really mean stuff to me, and I start thinking, oh my goodness, this is going to go right downhill, and we're going to end up in a battle, and, he's not going to go to this new program, and things are going to be really challenging. And what happened next was like he walked into my office and he apologized. He just cold clean apologized. And he knew it. He was able to kind of get through that without getting triggered residually, or the reverberation trigger where I went and yanked on his chain and then he reacted. So he had the initial reaction, went back, thought about it, and came and apologized. Now, that's something that has not happened in a long time. And just a simple change like that can change the whole dynamics in the home life. So, I'm sure it's a combination of variables, but I will say that the most recent health protocol that we've introduced has been these X39, or these patches that you wear for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So there are tools out there. There's other tools that we can use to support this journey. It's hard. Please raise awareness that there are people out there with these conditions that need all hands on deck, all research, all, I want to say all pharmaceuticals. Let's get together and figure out how these work together and can work for the best of everybody. And can we look at it from a spiritual, from a, energetic perspective, and a trauma? How does that play in? And discuss it with everybody that's affected. And so there's not this power imbalance with our medical system and the poor, oppressed people that have these conditions, and the families that are caregivers. I believe that it's all a blessing ultimately, because it is teaching us about love. It's teaching us about unconditional love. And I don't know about you, but that's how I've kind of learned, what the blessing I've gotten from it is unconditional learning to love, even when you're a kid, or when, it's so much. I'm talking from the perspective of a parent, and the perspective of the individuals affected might be a little different, but, and I feel like, they might be pissed because I'm here talking about it and I don't have it, but I do feel that I have enough lived experience to speak out, and the parent perspective is huge. We get cast aside when they get old enough to realize that we're talking, and I get that, but we got to talk. We really do. We really need all hands on deck with this condition, all these conditions. And no, there's so much out there that that's coming about, like this new quantum that we're not new. Obviously, it's not new, but people are becoming more aware of how multidimensional we are and all the variables that affect us, and, keeping an open mind. So yes, this is Global Tuberous Sclerosis Awareness Month. Look it up. And, someone that's affected, give them an extra hug. Donate if you feel called to whatever charity or whatever, but think about where that money is going and what exactly you're supporting and what you want out of this. What do you want? What do you want? What kind of quality of life? What is best for you and your family? And how is giving this donation and supporting this, this cause getting you there, and getting, overall the evolution of quality of life for this population there. So that's my rant. Thank you so much for anybody who's watching, that has watched through to the end. And check out my webinar. It's pinned on my Facebook page. May 10th, I'm going to have a regenerative medicine doctor there to discuss her own daughter with special needs, experience with these patches, who is profoundly disabled and has had amazing, quality of life improvement. So you might want to check it out. I don't usually talk about stuff like this, but I feel strongly on this one. All alternatives, all tools. Let's just be open and honest here. We want it all. So, May 10th, 4 p.m. Eastern. I got the Zoom link on my Facebook page. Join me, and I will see you tomorrow for the last day of my talk. Thanks again. Love to you all.